Here we are back again. I am your boy R.O.B. This is another episode of the What's the Word podcast. And my guest today, man, I'm excited. I'm super excited to have my guest in the building with me today. If you don't know him, you should know him, especially if you're listening to me and you from around here, you from the Central Valley, because there's nobody that I see putting on and displaying real unity like the individual I got today. Today I got my guy, Crispy Akiyama. Did I say that right? I always wonder.
Yeah, Crispy Akiyama.
Crispy
yes,
Akiyama's in the building with me today.
Konnichiwa.
What's up, bro? How you doing?
Konnichiwa. Blessed and highly favored as always. How about yourself, brother?
I'm good. I'm feeling ecstatic, bro. This is what I wanted to do for a long time. I'm not even gonna hold you. This is an interview. I definitely have been like, what am I doing if we don't get this interview in? You feel me?
Yeah, no, I'm glad that we're here today. No doubt.
Me too. So we're gonna go all the way back to the beginning. But first let's highlight yesterday. Yesterday was the third skate block party.
Third skate block party, yes, sir.
Man, I think I've been to 2 out of 3, and I see it consistently getting bigger and getting better, bro.
Absolutely.
What was the thought? What was just like, what made you be like, you know what, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this here? Because you could go anywhere. You know, you could have got a hall. You could have done it at Fraternal Hall, Square Aces, a bunch of places.
Yeah, I'm with whatever feels right. You know, I grew up at the skate park. Anybody who knows me, I mean, if you know me from Hanford, if you didn't do music, like outside of music, you knew me from the skate park.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like skateboarding and shit. So yeah, like when I threw the first one, I had just moved to Vegas. I was out there for about a year or so. And the thing that just kind of motivated me was being in Vegas and going to like their first Fridays and see how lit things were. Like they had art pop-ups and everything. And like that was new to me because we have the Thursday night market, but like it's nothing in comparison to like some of these bigger cities.
And that's not really for
that.
For what we do.
Yeah, it's more farmer's market type of thing, you know, but that was my only experience. So I was like, whoa, like I didn't even know people did this.
Culture shock.
Yeah, I was like 23. So I was like fairly, you know, I was into adulthood, but I was like, damn, I didn't know people even did this type of stuff. So it really just inspired me like, damn, what if like I did something, an event at the skate park? Because that's skate competitions were like what I knew. I grew up going there, Swiss, always through them. And I was just like, let me just try it. But since doing music, obviously I wanted to infuse performances in there. And then the art kind of just came later.
Okay. So let right into it. We skating. I know that's how I knew of you before music.
Okay,
was skating and skate block.
Skate block forever, yeah.
What does skate block mean to you?
Man, community, unity, and funny enough, like growth and development. You know, because you know, as you skate, as you do anything with consistency, you get better at it. You know, and skating, there's different obstacles at skate parks. Even if you're not at skate parks, but we're talking about the skate block, you know, there's different obstacles at skate parks. And so you can literally go from not being able to do something like grinding on a rail to being able to grind it. And then you're able to physically see the time that you put in, like the physical result of that. So outside of the community that it provides, like growth and development, you see kids, or I see kids that like were super young. Their parents were bringing them, and then now they'll come to a skate block and they're like doing the down rail, doing all this crazy stuff. I'm like, damn, they got much better. They grew and developed. Yeah. So it's like I don't know. That's something else that it means to me.
Yeah, and I see it. I see it like family, because that crew that I know of skate block, like you, Alex, I'm always call him Shrimpy. I don't always Shrimpy to me every time I see him. You know, sure. Medi, and it's just like, to me, like I always seen, if I seen one of y'all, I seen all of y'all.
Yeah, we was always together.
Yeah, it was like just a big collective, like a big family thing, and I love that, and I love to see the way you brought in, because music wasn't just your passion, like Alex Rabs, Medi.
Shout out to Medi. He's the one who really, for Alex and I, he was like the mentor, like the big brother for both of us, you know?
Yeah.
Like, he really, huge influence. Like, for anyone who knows Medi and knows me, like, you can see, like, I picked up definitely traits from Medi. You know what I'm saying?
Medi is just like, I don't know, just, he got that something about him, you know? Like, he's always positive, and he just, like a natural leader. Like,
he's just a real person.
You're just so drawn to him, and you just want to listen to what he has to say and really take it in. Because a lot of people try to talk to you sometimes, and you don't really. It just go over your head. You're like, I ain't trying to hear that. But for some reason, just the person he is, you just feel the genuineness, and you take it in.
His character has a high level of magnetism.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And it's always been like that. Like, I wasn't even a skater,
Forever.
but anytime I see Medi, yo, bro, what's up? How you doing? Blah, blah, blah. You know? Just that love.
Medi was one of the people from like the skate park. Well, Shrimpy came to the spot too, Alex. But like when we were recording in my bedroom, like back when I stayed at my parents' house long ago.
Oh, we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah, like my parents knew like who Medi was. Medi would always come. We would skate. I had this B2200 pickup truck, old white Mazda. Go from the skate park, he would like, let's stop by Domino's. He would always even pick up pizzas for the rest of my family to eat and shit, like while we were recording in the room. So it's just like little things like that. He's very intentional, you know, and I picked up a lot of those traits as well from him. So shout out Medi.
Yeah, always shout out Big man. Bro. I love that guy. Shout out.
Absolutely.
I want Medi on the pod. I would drive out to him if I have to. I would love that.
Well, you have to fly. I don't think you want to drive to Florida.
Yo, whatever we got to do to make it happen, Medi, let me know, bro, because I'm there.
Absolutely.
So what? So Medi was the thing that got you into music, or was Medi just another factor in a love that you kind of already had?
It was another factor. Yeah, I can't even really remember if there was a specific event that triggered like I'm gonna do music now. I think it was just like
there the whole time.
It was just loved music. Like I would write poetry as a kid. Nothing really too crazy or deep. You know what I'm saying? But it just ended up coming, and then I had friends like my god brother Noah Harvey, and then my homie Creature Fernando Martinez.
Yo, man, you know what? We're gonna talk about Wicked Productions and everybody in that collective, because you've been a part of. I would say, because I don't know, I like to call myself a local music enthusiast. I try to be tapped in with everybody and listen to everybody's stuff. Yeah, and Wicked Productions was a big collective for a while. There was a lot of movement, a lot of pushing. We definitely gonna get to we're gonna get to him. We're gonna talk about Wicked.
Yeah, there's a whole lot. Yeah,
but so was Beyond the Bedroom, was that the first project? Because I know that's the first thing that's the first thing I grabbed from you.
That's so weird hearing that. That was so long ago. So that's basically recording out of my parents' spot in my bedroom. Yeah, Beyond the Bedroom was really just a thing of like I was just recording people out of my bedroom. Yeah, you know, and then
there was some joints. I'm not gonna lie, there were some joints. You and Shrimpy had a joint.
You
and Medi had a joint, man.
Yeah, like I recorded some of my stuff out of there. I recorded kind of actually a few people out of there. Yeah, I don't remember everybody now, but like
I'm sure so many.
A minute ago. Yeah, it was super minute ago.
What do you miss that? Do you prefer in the bedroom, or do you prefer being in the big studio? Where do you feel more creative? Where do you feel the vibe is better?
I'm at a place because I move around so much. I've adapted. Like I've cooked up on an airplane, like not a private jet or anything like that, but like just sitting regular. Cooked up on the Amtrak. I cook up here. I've cooked up at kitchen tables.
I've seen you getting it in the car. I've definitely seen your lives, and they're everywhere.
So it's
man.
like I think it's just a matter of I've just kind of like learned to adapt as long as I feel comfortable. You know. That's really, I mean, cooking in the big studio is cool, but it's like, shoot, my bro's here from Phoenix, you know, Alexander Malik, and we're cooking in the bedroom. You see, the thing is like, I have all the gear that a big studio would have for the most part. I mean, not everything, but speakers, mic pre's, you know, everything. And then
you got the necessities. I mean, these days you see people, you know, and they cooking it up off GarageBand and their cell phone, and they're going viral, you know,
going crazy. Like I think Steve Lacy almost makes exclusively like on his iPad.
Yeah.
You know, Madlib is cooking up on his iPad. So it's like, I mean, those are some heavy hitters.
If there's anything that I've learned as long as I've been making music, is it's all in just getting the quality recording and the mix and everything else.
Yeah.
As long as you get a decent recording and you have someone who knows what they do and mix.
Absolutely.
And, you know, because I hear the difference. Because I went back, I was listening to Beyond the Bedroom to get ready for this.
Yeah.
And
I don't even know where to find that.
Oh, man. I think I got bits and pieces of it. I ripped it off of my iPod.
Okay. Damn.
Just to go back and, you know, prepare.
Yeah.
Because what I think a joint that stands out is They Don't Know. That's what you and Shrimpy, I think you're on the hook on that.
Yeah.
Yo, as we're talking.
Wicked made the beat on
Wicked did that?
Yeah.
Okay.
We did. Matter of fact, Wicked came into town because he was in Arizona at the time. I think he was going to school for music or had already finished. He had got a hotel It's right next to all those bars. But anyway, Mehdi and I think recorded a song there. There's actually a picture of me, Mehdi, and Alan. It's like 6 a.m. I got off of work and went straight there, you know. But yeah, we recorded that song. He made the beat.
Okay.
Backstory.
What do you prefer? Because I notice these days I don't really hear you on the mic too much.
No, actually, Alex has actually got me rapping again because, like, it's wild. I make beats. I love my beats, but I have the hardest time getting on my own beats. Mm-hmm. And his beats bring something out of me.
Make you want to pick up the pen again?
Yeah, I think just because he's so dope. Like, he's personally, like, the best beat maker that I know, producer. And then he's a dope songwriter, too. And he's only been writing for maybe about a year or so at this point. And he just comes up. He has, like, this Neptune Kanye sound that just the early 2000s vibe that you know we all love so much. And
I mean, they flipping it now every time you turn on the radio.
Yeah, they're flipping it now, you know, and he does it just so naturally that it inspires me. But you know, I got into producing. Like, I don't really care too much to be like the face of things. Like, I'm okay like playing a backfield, you know, and production has kind of allowed me to do that. But you know, I realize, like, even being humbly speaking, I feel like I'm still better than like so many other artists out here.
And that's how you gotta be.
So it's like every now and then, like, I'll still like dabble into like a song or two. We're going to actually record like 5 or 6 songs actually after this.
Oh, so are we getting a project?
Yeah, we're going to get like a Gumbo Groove project going on together. Yeah.
Now that I can't wait for Gumbo Groove.
Gumbo Groove, yeah.
What was the process of moving from Beyond the Bedroom, going to Wicked, and then now you're on your own doing Gumbo Groove?
Yeah. Well, Beyond the Bedroom just ended when I left the spot, you know, for one. Going to Wicked out in Vegas, that's where like I started interning at a studio, and that he got me into. So the only reason why I even went to Vegas is for Alan. He hit me up, and I was working at T-Mobile in Visalia at the time, and he was like, yo, there's a studio, you need to work here, you know, like, you got to make it happen. So I made it happen. And Gumbo Groove actually came from like me going out there and being in a big city, like wanting to be like socially accepted. For real. Like, I didn't need to be best friends with anybody, but like I was making beats and I wanted people to think I was dope. I was still super young at the time though, you know. I don't feel that way no more, but
we all at a young age, especially doing music, we want to fit in. We want to find where we're supposed to be at.
Exactly. I was like, yo, my shit's dope too. I look back, my shit was not dope back then. My bars were cool, but like I wasn't promoting myself as an artist. I was promoting as a producer.
As a producer, yeah. And
I was like, I look back and I was like, no, that wasn't it, you know. But not getting that reception that I wanted, it was a blessing because it made me just really lock in and do my own thing. You know, that's when I started like really learning how to flip samples. That's when I really started learning how to kind of play keys and get creative. And then I don't even know where Gumbo Groove, like where the name came from exactly, but the philosophy behind it is like gumbo is a little bit of everything, right? You got rice, chicken, sausage, shrimp, and then groove is just, it makes you move. So like gumbo is relative to all my inspirations, you know, from like Confunction, Marvin Gaye to like Metro Boomin and Cardo, you know, like just take
a little bit of everything into your style, into what makes you.
Exactly. So like all of my influences, and then groove is just something that just, it gets you going, makes you moving. So that's basically where Gumbo Groove comes from. But yeah, that's basically not being accepted, and so I was like, okay, well, I don't need to be accepted.
I'm gonna do my own thing.
Put the work in, and then now it's just like it's Gumbo Groove, like,
and now it's the thing. Now that's good. You built something from the ground up out of self-preservation. Out of I'm cool. I'm gonna do this by myself. If I don't fit in nowhere, and now you see people coming to you.
Yeah,
and that's
for sure.
That's what I tell a lot of artists in anything. Just like, don't try to fit into what everyone else is doing. Yeah. Just do what you're doing and stay true to that. And then the people will come. The people who are supposed to come are supposed to come.
Absolutely.
You can't go out and, you know, try to force something on people. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't force them to drink.
Yeah.
And I completely agree with that. So how did you and Wicked even become a thing? How did that start?
Yeah, so when I was rapping with my god brother Noah and then the homie Fernando, we had a group called Creek Genesis in high school because we called our neighborhood the Creek. That's where that came from. And then it's funny. I was actually just telling a story like a couple days ago. So because I went to go see Fernando like on the Thursday night market. I haven't saw him in like 4 years prior to that. So this is all fresh. Fernando said that Wicked was his cousin. And for you guys who don't know, like if you're watching this in Vegas, Wicked is Alan Anthony. This is his old name.
This is old. Yeah, this is Central Valley stuff right here.
Yeah,
we're talking
this is
about.
like way before Vegas. And he said like, yeah, like my cousin is the engineer. Like we can go to his house. Or he said producer. Find out they're not really cousins. You know, you know what I'm saying? And then my god brother didn't really rap as much. Fernando stopped rapping, but like I kept rapping. You know what I'm saying? And then so just me being more consistent, and that's how our relationship started. I was just always at the studio or always wanting to work with him, and then we just formed a relationship. Like that's like for real, like my brother. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
I didn't slept on his couch. You know what I'm saying? His family knows me. Like they get me gifts for my birthday. I get him gifts. Like it's like really like
it's
my
real
family.
Yeah,
real family. Like all of his family knows who I am.
And I feel like that's the best, bro. When you have somebody who feels the same way you feel about things and that you could just rock with them. Like you said, the consistency, because I know when I first started doing music in 2008, there was like 10, 15 of us and we were all, this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And here we are 2023 and it's just me and my brother.
Yeah, that's how it is, man.
And, and it's just because you find somebody who feels the way you feel and y'all vibe.
Yeah.
And you can progress with that person. And as you see, not to take anything away from, Creech or anybody else who wasn't there, because, life gets in the way and sometimes, you got to put things to the side.
Yeah.
But, like, you really make time for things you love. Like you said, Alan called you and was like, yo, there's an internship out here. I don't care how you do it. You need to make it happen.
Yeah.
And you felt it enough to be like, nah, he's right.
He FaceTimed me every day. FaceTimed me every day and just showing me new things that they were doing, and I was like, I gotta make it happen. Like when I got out to Vegas, it was rocky. My truck had just broke down, so I didn't have a vehicle. As I was taking the bus out there, I didn't know where I was going to stay. I didn't know where I was going to make money because it was an unpaid internship. And then like I think just by me taking the risk and taking the bet on myself within the first week, I had a car situation and I had enough to pay rent and get a few bit of groceries. You know what I'm saying? I feel like just because I took that risk, and I bet on myself. So,
and life rewarded you, bro.
Yeah, no, for sure. My life would be definitely different if I didn't go to Vegas.
Oh, I definitely agree. How far would you say your skill level increased being out there? Like how rapidly? Because I could definitely hear a difference in your production and the style just
immensely
pre and post Vegas. Like, how fast was the learning curve? Did you feel like, damn, there's a lot I need to catch up on? Or were you like, I'm kind of where I need to be?
Yeah, that pressure comes like here and there of like, damn, I feel like I should be colder or something. I mean, now at this point, I don't feel that pressure. I feel like I've put the work in. I'm still continually to get 1% better on a daily basis. But when I first got out there, I noticed a gap with some people, but I learned to like understand and remind myself that, hey, like, you've been producing for like 4 months at this point. These people have been doing it. They've been actually not just doing it, they've been making their living off of it the past 5-10 years. Like, you can't compare. You just can't, I have so much respect for it. Like, I can just, when somebody that I see like is better than me in something, especially within music, it's just like, I just show love and respect to it because I have so much respect for this talent and this gift that you can give respect to when someone does something, so I don't really feel that anymore. But yeah, there was definitely a big bridge to gap.
Yeah,
I was like, man, they're hard.
I could imagine just to go from, being in the studio with your friends or mad with people you're comfortable with to like now you're in a big full studio. Yeah. You got an artist in the booth and you're just like, I've not done this before.
Yeah, for real. Like when I first got out there, I wasn't even engineering or anything. I was just literally running, just like store trips, helping them get set up. I mean, intern stuff, Excuse me. And I really started going crazy engineering the past like 2 years, like at the studio. Now it's at a point where it's like when I'm out there, my brother will just, instead of him running the session, I send my brother Alan, Alan Anthony, he'll just like throw me sessions because I put myself in that position to where it's like I can run the sessions.
Yeah. Like nothing.
Like no,
Like
yeah.
you could command. Like I said, I follow. I stay on everything closely. I see you going from this studio to that studio, and it's just seamless. It's just like you're supposed to be there. Like not one point does it ever seem like you're off or you don't seem like you're comfortable in the location. It just seems like you're very comfortable with what you're doing at the time. Like, and you're very mindful. Every time I see you, you're very like in the moment, you know? And I feel like not a lot of people are like that. And I feel like that's because you read a lot. Like even with the skate block party, you were like, yo, we're doing an event, bring local art, we're bringing local artists, and let's do a book drive too. So how important is that to you? Because like I said, I see you always with a book, always recommending books. Like, how important is that to you?
It's the foundation of Crispy Akiyama. You know, I'm a huge believer of every day becoming 1% better. And, you know, a lot of us can say that, but if we're not actively doing something to become 1% better, we can be doing something 1% to be of detriment to us, you know, and there's always choices around us on what we choose to spend our time on. Like we always hear everyone has the same 24, you know, but some people can break those 24 hours into 3 different days. They can get a whole nother level of productivity and efficiency. And it's like, I want to learn how to do that. I might not have a millionaire friend or a decamillionaire friend that I can call or a billionaire friend, but, you know, people like Tony Robbins do, or they are those people. Ray Dalio does, or like, you know, I might not have a spiritual leader I can call on, you know, but like Wayne Dyer has books. So it's like a lot of people that I look up to aren't even people that I personally know. Some of them aren't even alive anymore, but because they left books, you know, why not learn from these people? You know, they took the time to write this stuff for a reason. You know, we're having this podcast for a reason because there's an intention behind it, you know? So like, yeah, you know, it's very important that we read on a daily basis.
I agree. I'm a big reader. I'm a big audiobook guy. I'm not even going to hold you though. Yeah. Just because I like to, I don't know. I know they say it's not good to multitask, but I like to multitask. I like to be physically doing something.
Yeah.
And mentally doing something at the same time, you know?
Yeah.
And I see, like I said, I see that. I see you're constantly on Instagram, you're on Facebook recommending books like, yo, who wants a new book to read? Give me a book to read. And I think I like that, bro. I really think that's amazing. I don't think there's enough people pushing that. Like, go out and get the information yourself, you know?
Because it's literally everywhere.
It's everywhere. And it's just, I'm very big on, you know, you kind of are what you take in.
Yeah.
And if you're constantly just taking in social media and trash all the time, that's, you know, your mind is going to be there. But like I said, you're a prime example of somebody who I see who's constantly, you're presently in the moment, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and you don't seem very clouded from the outside looking in.
Can't afford to be, but it's also because like I'm far. I do get clouded though. You know, there's moments where I'm not present. Like we all experience the same things. We all have emotions and everything. You know what I'm saying? But it's just that there are people that I've learned from in these books or in real life that even though we all feel the same things, people do 2 things that I've noticed. The big distinguishers is they feel something and they're aware of it, and they have tools that technology within themselves how to combat that in the moment. And then second is, even though they might be feeling an emotion, they don't let their emotion dictate them from doing something that they should be doing anyway. Like you might feel upset, but that's not a reason to not meditate. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Or if they are upset, they're like, okay, well, what are 3 things that I'm grateful for? Because you can't be grateful and then, you know, feel another emotion at the same time. So it's like there's tools to combat that. So that's that.
I definitely agree. I'm somebody who used to struggle with that. And now, because of books, I meditate. I meditate. I at least a 15 to 20 minute meditation before I do anything.
Yeah.
When I wake up in the morning, before I touch my phone, let me get right. Let me get myself right so I could attack the day the proper way and feel like I have those tools that you're talking about, because a lot of people don't, because it's not taught to us. That's not something that's taught to us, especially as dudes. You know, you're not taught to have emotion. You're taught to just put all that to the side and you got to push.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see someone who's out here pushing that narrative of like, no, like it's cool to have feelings, be aware of your feelings, but also remember we still have things we got to do.
Yeah.
And I think that's amazing. Like I said, I really wanted to sit down and have this conversation with you because this whole podcast, when I started it, I really wanted to have people on here who I felt like were doing something right, who had a positive message, and who could just instill something in people, you know, to keep going in the right direction. Because especially nowadays, there's a lot of negative out there, you know, and there's not very many people who are pushing something positive, you know, and it's just like this is why I wanted to have you, just somebody who is genuine. Like I said, I don't think I've talked to anybody who knows you who has said a cross word about you. And that says a lot about, you know, your character and you as a person.
Thank you.
And that's why, like I said, you're the perfect person to have on here because we share a passion, which is this music. And like I said, you're somebody I look to and I'm like, yo, I wish I could achieve. I'm striving to achieve, like I said, that level of just peace that I see from you, that just radiates off of you, that you feel like you have of yourself, you know?
Thank you.
Of course. So, Trapper, man, that guy's talented.
He's amazing.
Man, next level.
Yeah.
Bar game crazy.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. How do you and Trapper first link up? Because now every time I see you, I see Trapper.
It's funny. I was actually just over at his spot a few hours ago. We like to link up on Sundays and just kind of talk about the week, you know, areas of improvement. He very like how you talk about me. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. You know, like Trapper's the same exact way. I think.
Oh yeah, I definitely see him on Instagram. He give me hype too.
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why we're such a good match. Mm-hmm. You know, because literally like every Sunday, like if I'm not in town, like we'll hop on the phone, but like we break down like, okay, like what do we do this week? Like how can we improve? And it's not even just like a streaming numbers or just like, you know, this situation kind of got to me, you know, like I did this, but I feel like I could have approached it a little bit different. How would you have approached it? Like we have those kind of conversations. Mm-hmm. We talk about music too, but like music is.
But y'all relationship is deeper than music.
Yeah. Music takes a backseat to like the life stuff in our relationship, you know, but, it's funny. We're actually both from Avenal. So I moved to Avenal, or I moved to Hanford in the 4th grade. Mm-hmm. I was in a class with his older brother, Rudy, back in Avenal before either his family or my family moved. And then he is friends with my homie G-Baby, who's like my little brother, because we all grew up in the same neighborhood, G-Baby and I. And just one day in high school, like, I hung out with him, and I found out he was doing music later on. I was obviously already doing music, and then I don't remember if it was like I reached out first or he reached out, you know, but he had put out a song on SoundCloud. It was like the first one. I was like, yo, this is hard. And then we connected. When I moved to Arizona, he was supposed to, I told him I wanted him to come out, but, you know, he had got into some trouble.
His situation. Mm-hmm.
And then
as it happens, you know.
Yeah. Actually, both times when he got into some trouble, we were supposed to work. So this last time when he came home, I was like, I'm going to come to you. You know, like we got to work, man. And
I feel it.
No, it's been beautiful, man. Like,
no, yeah, I definitely, yeah. Oh man, like I said, I've seen the progression. Like y'all two linked up, and he went on a run. He's currently on a run.
Yeah.
Like I see y'all. He just had the album drop with Wax.
Yeah.
I see you did some production on that.
I did 2 songs. Yeah.
Yeah. How was that?
That was cool. Those are beats. Those beats were like a year old. Mm-hmm. That's the crazy thing. But it was just cool to hear like him attack the beats. One of the Living on the Inside, I had made that beat. I didn't even post that like online or anything. I was like, I heard that. I was like, oh, this is for trap, you know.
Now, how often does that happen when you're cooking up and you're just like, all right, these are for everyone else, but you know when you make a beat and you're like, no, that's his.
It doesn't happen as often as you think. Like, I can hear Trapper on a lot of my beats, obviously, but there's some of them where it's just like, nope, you know, I'm just texting them to him like, bro, this is
you.
And a lot of times, like, coming from being an artist first, sometimes I'll even have like hook ideas or, you know, just like at the very least some type of like concept for it. And I think also because I approach him with that, it also helps us out together. Because sometimes if you hear a hard beat, that's cool, you hear a hard beat, but it's like the producer can be like, you know, I imagined you in this scenario when I made the beat. It can put them in that driver's seat as well.
Oh yeah, I've definitely bought a beat in the moment like this is hard, and then maybe a day or two later went back and listened like, man, this is still hard, but like,
what do I do?
I'm directionless. Yeah. And I really enjoy producer artist tag teams. I feel like we need more of that.
Yeah.
I love to see the way when I see you, I see him. The way y'all are moving, I love that kind of shit. Like, it's just, it breeds so much more creativity because you could go, you know, buy beats from the hottest producers and, you know, and it's cool, but you don't feel it. You know, like you don't feel the emotion behind it. And it's just like when y'all do stuff, you could just feel the genuineness. Because like I said, when you see one, you see the other, you just see that y'all rock and y'all are building something together. Yeah. As opposed to like Trapper's doing this, you're doing this. And I'm like, yeah, I just buy a lot of beats from him.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's super important, you know, because like this is the reality. I can get a Drake placement. I use Drake because he's just like the epitome of like, if you get a Drake placement, you're in. Like people say that. It's not really the case. You know, like if you're like really in it, like that will help. Absolutely, saying you have a Drake placement. But if I have a Drake placement, that's not going to make me the next Boy Wonder. It's not going to make me the next 40. I'm just someone who has a Drake placement. Those people have the reverence that they do in this community, in the industry, is because they came up with Drake and they developed a sound with Drake, and they are the producers / engineers responsible for his success. Anybody else is just someone who was able to attach themselves to what was already successful. So my whole concept is, like, for instance, for me, like, I would love to work with Larry June, Dom Kennedy, like, because I'm a California person, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
just super laid back.
I could definitely hear your vibe.
You know what I'm saying?
Y'all
like,
would gel.
Yeah, and I love the music that they do, but like, I'm not basing my success and, you know, me coming up off of getting a placement with them. Like, my thing is like working with Alex, working with Trapper, bringing them up, working with my boy Max out there in the Bay Area, my brother Viva, like all these people, like, and bringing Gumbo Groove together and establishing like something with that. Because at that point, it's like we ushered in a sound, we ushered in a culture of our own, not just he had a dope beat over a poppin' artist.
Yup.
You know? I
think people get money confused with like success, because like you said, like with the Drake placement, yeah, cool, you could definitely up the cost of beats. Like, no, I got a Drake placement now, I need 2 racks for a beat at least, you know,
for sure.
But I mean, is money really success? Like you said, to come and be like, nah, we built this from the ground up, this is a new sound, and to hear people start to hop on the sound, I feel like, at least for me, that's where I would feel more success. Like, money comes and goes. Yeah. But at least for me, like, the love that I have for music, to put a stamp on it of something that's going to be here forever, to me, that's worth more than money.
Yeah, and I mean, it's like, I mean, I'm sure you're the same way. It's like, we want to get money out of this too, you know, but it's like, if I can get money with the people I literally got it out the mud with, like,
there's no better feeling.
Yeah, like, I you know, it's good. Like, you want to network horizontally and vertically, you know what I'm saying? But I think so many artists, producers, engineers, everybody, they want to like strictly just work vertically. They want to work with people above them and deny or not work with people right beside them, not knowing that if you work with the people beside you, you know, you guys can grow together vertically. You know, that kind of skips a lot of people, but like, everybody I work with understands that. And that's why, like, Alex, even though he stays in Phoenix, he knows the homie in the Bay Area. He knows the artists I work with in Visalia or in Vegas. He knows Trapper, like, because everybody I'm around understands that, like, innately, that it flows. We all flow, and that's why we
it's
work.
A team mentality.
Absolutely.
And I feel like that's the only way. That's the only way people really succeed. Like, you can, like I said, you can receive some monetary gain, and you could receive some moderate success for the time being. But the way music is now is so flash in the pan. Like, you drop an album today, and they're like, all right, cool. 2 days later, they're like, yo, when's the next album coming?
Yeah, and that's why it's so important to just like understanding that you really like we just feel so everybody I work with, they just really do their own thing. Like he makes beats nothing like how I make beats. Neither of us make beats like how Max makes beats. Even my engineering, there's a engineer, his name is Skunk. He's an engineer out of Vegas. He's Gumbo Groove too. We both are engineers, we're cold engineers, but we don't even engineer the same. You know, we all have a different sound, whether it's engineering, production, artistry. And because it's like people are so used to hearing the same thing so consistently, or it's just super fast paced, you might as well hit them with something that is yours all the way through, you know? And
exactly.
So that's kind of where we're at with that.
I agree. I think that's the best way to be, in the individuality. And like I said, it brings the people who are supposed to be to you.
Yeah.
Like everybody that's in your orbit that you're working with, you said they all innately know.
Yeah.
Because you guys are all on the same vibe. You guys are all on the same frequency.
Definitely.
And I think, like I said, I think that's a big thing. And to even find out Gumbo Groove is, I thought Gumbo Groove was just you until yesterday when you introduced me to him. Yeah. And now there's another. So how many people? How is this going? How does this collective work?
Yeah. So right now it's myself, Alexander Malik, my bro Max out there, and he's in Walnut Creek. Then the homie Skunk, who engineers out in Vegas. And then so like those were the four you might say, but it extends out to like Trapper. Obviously Trapper has his own thing, but like Trapper's Gumbo Groove to me. My brother Viva, he has his own thing out in Vegas, but like he's Gumbo Groove to me. Alex, Westside Marshy, they're Gumbo Groove to me. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, so
at the end of the day, it's family. Everyone does their own thing, and everyone is their own individual. But at the same time, we're all one and we're all together.
Exactly. You know, so
kind of a very like an Odd Future vibe. You know, everyone did their own thing, but we're still a crew.
Everybody's family.
Yeah,
yeah. You know, what I'm saying?
Think that's dope. And I see you got Alex in the studio a lot more, which is something we desperately need every time I see him.
Yeah, that's like I said, we both came up under Medi, you know, and I say that so comfortably because it's the truth, you know. So hearing him rap, like anyone who's heard Medi rap, like you can hear Medi within
completely.
him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like he does his own thing for sure, but it's like you could hear the influence. I mean, I feel like I hear myself and I'm like, that's not something Medi would say, but like I can hear Medi coaching me to like say something, it like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, it's always cool. Like Alex was someone who came to be on a bedroom a few times, like, and I couldn't tell you what song we recorded or anything, but it's cool to work with him, you know, all this time later and just see how much better he's got.
Oh, and he definitely is. I know when I put him on the song, I was like, yo, I feel like I'm not going to change my verse because I'm happy with it and I like the way the song sounds.
Yeah.
But I definitely know he's going to bar me. He's going to out-bar me.
Yeah, he's cold, man. And
I'm all right with that, though. I'm like, if anybody's going to hurt me, I'll let it be Alex. Yeah. I'm all right with that.
Yeah.
Because he's cold.
Yeah, he's so solid, man. I just like, when I record him, there's just moments. Sometimes I wish, I'll probably end up doing it next time we record, just putting like a camera on me. So, because like sometimes he just comes with bars and I just start laughing like, God damn. He'll say some shit. Yeah.
And he'll just be like, and that's why I love to listen to everybody, because we don't all do the same music. Like me and Alex, we don't do the same music.
Yeah.
Me and Trapper don't do the same music.
Yeah.
And it's just, I love to hear it. I love to hear somebody say something that I think is clever that I wouldn't have thought of.
Yeah.
Like to hear it and I'm just like, whoa, I wouldn't have thought of that.
Yeah.
Just to hear the different way people's mind works, or the way I might have flipped the bar, and then the way I'll hear Trapper say something, and I'm like, yo, we kind of use the same reference, but the way he flipped it was way crazier than what I was thinking about.
Yeah, yeah.
And I feel like you get, because I see you guys be in the studio together.
Yeah.
And how different is the vibe between just sending over a beat and maybe sending over an idea and actually physically being present, being in the room to really produce?
Yeah, I don't know. I did make a beat, 2 or 3 beats at the spot, on the spot, at his spot, but they were just kind of like stuff that was like really quick. Like I wouldn't even really call it that. Mm-hmm. So I can't really say that I have made something on the spot for him, but I can tell you for sure, like being in the studio with him and Westside Marsky, you know, Jamar.
No, he like vicious too.
Both of them, like the Nobody Special collab is like wild.
No, they're crazy. Yo,
they have a chemistry.
Me and Jamar got a record.
Yeah,
it took him like a year to get it back to me, but when he shot it back to me, I was like, definitely worth the wait of a year because he just snapped something crazy.
They're super creative, and what's dope is like a lot of times, like if you are in the community of like battle rap, we always hear it like you can write a crazy verse, but you can't write a hook for nothing
to save your life.
Save your life. You know, they can actually make songs. Like, that's the beauty in their talent, you know, is they can actually make songs. So, but yeah, no, like being in the studio with both of them, like it's a pleasure, you know, because they bring, I mean, it feels no different than like when I was recording Alex back at Beyond the Bedroom. Like it's the same vibe. That
instant level of comfortability comes back. Yeah.
Like there's nothing to even question. It's just like, yeah, we're going to work again. Like that's what is expected of us. You know what I'm saying? So.
Do you prefer that vibe of just being in there with Alex and Trapper and Jamar where it's just like second nature, or do you prefer getting in there with somebody that you've never been in there and just that process of grinding it out and kind of feeling each other out and learning each other?
Well, those are one of the same thing. You know, I just grinded it out for a consistent period, and so that's why the relationship is the way it is now. But I mean, I was always already cool with Alex because we skate block anyway, you know, so like I already knew him before we did that. But just like some of the artists I work with out in Vegas, like it was a first session with them, and then over time now it's just like some people were just like, if it's not Crispy or Allen, I don't want them recording me.
And isn't that the best? Like when you're like, nah, if it's not my guy, I'm cool, I'll wait.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
I feel like producers, beat makers, and even as you know, as I make music more, and engineers are like kind of like barbers. Like I got my guy, I have my guy. I'm not gonna go. I
was just telling him. I just gave him the same reference 48 hours ago. If that,
it's true. It's just like
very true.
I have my engineer, and I like the way he does. He knows me. When I send him stuff, it comes back exactly the way I like.
Exactly.
And when I gotta go somewhere else, I'm like,
send me the stems at least.
Yeah,
Even then, like, there's been times where there was an artist in the studio in Vegas. It was myself and another engineer. We recorded him on the same equipment because we were in the same room. And, like, they just sounded, like, different. Like, he said the other engineer sounded like he recorded him. It was, like, very sterile sounding. And, like, mine had more flavor. And that doesn't mean that I'm necessarily the better engineer. It's just that we have different sounds.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just like a taper fade is a taper fade, but one person just might know exactly where to start and stop.
Exactly.
The taper.
You know, and it's just everything, especially with music, it's all preference, you know?
Exactly.
And it's just you gave him that flavor that he was looking for, whereas the other guy, you know, not to take anything away, like, you know, like grilled chicken, fried chicken. It's still chicken. At the end of the day, it's chicken. I prefer mine a little deep fried.
A little crispy.
You feel me?
You know what I'm saying?
There it look, a little crispy. Y'all see that?
Watch out.
So what's next, man? I see Trapper just dropped a project. Like I said, he's been on a run. The album with Wax, the solo album. He shot a video yesterday.
Yeah, and then so we actually have a whole other album done. Well, everything's recorded already. I just need to mix it. That one is actually all on my beats. Actually, there's one beat from Dr. Edwin.
Shout out to the doc.
Yeah, shout out Dr. Edwin. I think there's only one beat from someone else's Dr. Edwin. I made all the other beats. I think it's like 13 or 14 songs.
Damn.
Or so. Yeah, so like these are like projects, and like there's beats on there from like when I was using my MPC back 4 years ago to like stuff I made 3 weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? So it's wild. It's a whole this project, when you hear the beats, you'll hear my progression as a producer. Like I feel, maybe not everybody will, but like I feel like you'll be able to hear like, damn,
the difference,
like,
yeah.
But I mean, they're all dope beats. You know what I'm saying? But I have my favorites
because sure. as you know, as with anything, the more you do it, the more you learn, the more you're like, oh, I think I like when I use this kick drum or over this one. Yeah. Or I like when I process a sample this way instead of this way. You know,
definitely.
And you find your flavor, you find your style, you find your sauce. Because everyone, especially nowadays, everyone has access to the same tools.
Yeah, for sure.
Everyone could go get FL and a bunch of sound packs and it's just what are you gonna do with it that they're not doing? What's gonna make your sound different? Y'all both got the same kick, but the way you compress it might be different. The way you process it might be different, and it's gonna change the whole sound.
And that's why, like, I feel like the key these days is like there's nothing to be secretive about, you know, like, and the things that you are secretive about, it's because there's such a high level of intention and just like skill set behind it that even if you were to get some of those secrets, because you weren't even applying the foundation, the basics of everything, it wouldn't even work for you.
Yeah, I could set my knobs to the same way you have your knobs set.
But we won't use any of the same sounds. We won't even, if you don't even have the same levels that I'm on, like wherever your levels are at, if you don't gain stage the way I do, it doesn't even matter.
It sounds completely different. Yeah,
exactly. So,
and I feel like that's artist talk, because when I talk to some people and they're just like, no, yeah, I don't hear a difference. And I'm like, yeah, you're not who we're talking. You're not who we're talking to, because I hear every difference.
Exactly.
Especially, you know, when you really get into listening. Like, I will sit with something, and now I'm to a point where I'm critiquing mixes, and I'm like, ooh, I really like this mix.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I like the song, but the way they mix that joint
sounds solid.
Yeah. And I feel like that's a different level of a music appreciation.
Yeah, for sure.
When you're like, no, I like this. I like the way they EQ that. Like, I can hear the way they pitch that down. That was crazy.
I have to listen to a song like 8 or 10 times to actually hear it, because wearing different hats, starting off an artist, then going into production, and then engineering, and then being a music lover, like the first thing I'm listening for off the bat is the mix. I can't even, like, I'll obviously hear the bars or hear the beat and everything. The mix is like the first thing, because that's just where my mind has been at the most. Like, where's what's the position of the vocals? Like, how far back are the vocals in comparison to the snare? How does the low end hit? Like, how wide is everything? What is the separation between all the elements in the mix? Like, I'm listening for that first 3 times off of it. And then after that, I'll listen to the beat and I'll be like, damn, that's a cool, I like how they put a delay on that snare. Like, damn, I never thought about that. And then the bars, and then it's just like, after however many times that takes, then I listen to it just for appreciation of like, man, this is just a good song. But it's just wearing those hats. Like, I you know, they say it's a curse, a blessing and a curse, but it's like, I can't hear music just like as a consumer. Like,
it's hard. It's so hard to hear it just as like, because I'll hear stuff and I'm like, yeah, they did that because it's popping.
Yeah, for sure. Like, you can hear that. It's like, all right.
Yeah, I get why y'all did that. I wouldn't have done it, but I get it.
I get it, though, yeah.
So wearing so many hats, currently, I know, you know, through different stages, different hats end up being your favorite. Currently, where are you leaning? Where's your heart at right now? More in mixes, more in beats?
I've been doing more engineering than anything else, but that's also where I make majority of my money at, too. So that's kind of it.
Oh, yeah, because you could send stems from anywhere.
Yeah, that's what's been
works worldwide.
That's what's happening. Like, people are sending me stems to stuff, and I just mix it. You know, you get a Dropbox professional account, drop it in the Dropbox, the files are in there, money's in the Cash App, and it's like,
boom.
It's that. Yeah, but like, I want to do more production, because it's weird with me. Like, I'll make like 15 beats in like 4 days, and then not make a beat for a whole month after that.
I'm kind of the same way. Like,
with
writing songs, I could sit down and one day I might write, 5, 6, 7, 8 verses, and then I might go cold for like 2 weeks and not even think about picking up a pencil.
Exactly. But I notice, like, when I do that, every time I come back, my beats are just like, they sound not even better, just different.
Because you've lived.
Yeah.
You've experienced. I feel like, to just, again, not taking anything away from people who just sit and continuously make, but at some point you gotta take a break and go out and experience something to be inspired by something.
Yeah. And they're just all different processes. Like, I would be making more beats. I think it's just also, for one, it's a thing I'm telling myself, because if I wanted to, really, I could make more beats. So it's really on me. But like I said, I've been doing more recording, mixing, things in that sense at the same time. So even though I might not be making a beat, I'm still working on music every day.
Yeah.
I'm just not making beats every day. That's all.
I like that you and Trapper specifically are putting out bodies of work. Like, Nate is another, Lil Nate the Goer, shout out to Nate.
Yeah.
That's another one who puts out bodies of work, because I feel like not a lot of people these days, me, myself included, don't put out bodies of work. Like, I know I do a lot of singles. But I really appreciate the fact that y'all put out full bodies of work that sound cohesive. It doesn't just sound like, all right, well, we recorded 15 songs, let's just put it out.
Yeah.
Like, you could tell, like, y'all take the time to really structure it. It feels right the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, no, like we'll go through and record things, listen to them in the car, we'll listen to them at his house, or I might have coffee like we did this morning, and just very intentional, you know, because like you get to a point, you really realize your name is attached to everything. How you do the small things is how you do everything. You know, and with that in mind, it's like you never know who's listening, you never know who's watching. You might as well give it your best, because if you're not giving it your best, you know, like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I completely agree. If you're not trying, what's the point?
Yeah, like,
if it's not where your heart's at, you should always do something with your whole heart. And if you're not doing it with your whole heart, then, you know, why are you doing it?
Yeah, and I think that's important to bring up, like doing something like with your whole heart, you know, giving your best, because it's so easy. So many people will see, okay, well, they're just dropping stuff, they're not mixing it, because I'll hear this from artists, not really so much anymore, but hear people say like, well, they just put it up, they didn't get theirs mixed and whoop-de-whoop, and I'm like, okay, well, you understand that the person you're talking about is someone who already gets millions of streams on a daily basis. People are going to listen to it anyway. You know that, right? So, like, give yourself an opportunity to, you know, do your best, you know, to get the most out of the work that you've done, you know, because one thing that I super disliked, like, I never wanted to even be an engineer. I was just tired of my music not sounding good sonically. You know, I thought my production was pretty solid.
Oh yeah, I think we all get there. I got there at a point where I felt like my music was too good to sound that bad.
Yeah, exactly. That's literally perfect. That's like a quote somewhere that you should actually write. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But that's exactly how I felt. I was like, I remember putting my beats next to other people's. My beats were better, but because they didn't sound as good sonically, it was hard. Like, the music didn't convince the rest of the room of that. You know, like hearing things like, oh, it sounds good, like you're getting better, but that's not like, damn, this is dope, man. You got more beats like this. Those are two different answers.
Things, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you, I forget where, this is a book, Key Person of Influence. I forget who writes it, but it says, like, when you present something to the world, you want people to be forced to have an opinion. One of the worst things that you can get is a passive answer, like, oh, this is cool, this is interesting. It's like, I want you to either love it or hate it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to force an opinion out of you, because if you're passive, it means you don't care about it. Even if you hate it, that means there's some type of emotion I evoked out of you. You know, so yeah, it's important to get your stuff mixed.
Yes.
Get your stuff mixed.
Get it mixed. That oh my gosh. And that's something you learn over time, you know.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
You know, be creative, and, you know, sometimes a bad mix might enhance something, but most of the time it doesn't. It doesn't.
And if you can't afford to get it mixed, like, learn it. Like, at least, like, learn what you're looking for so you can communicate that to somebody else.
That's key.
Yeah.
Because I'm one of those.
Yeah.
I don't mix, but I've done enough horrible mixes of my own music in time to know what I like. To know, like, hey, I kind of like when, you know, I like my ad-libs with very heavy reverb and a long delay on the ad-lib. I want it kind of faded in the back. But that's things you don't know if you're not taking the time to learn it or to make the attempt by yourself, you know? Because I'm definitely not you mixing. I'm not Jamar mixing. But I know enough to be like, you think can we turn that down a little bit? Can we kind of tweak this a little bit?
Yeah.
You know, as you get into it, you kind of learn. And that's where I'm at. I was like, yo, I really enjoy my songs. They're sounding good, but they're not sonically sounding right. It's not as live. Like my engineer now, you could listen. It's a day and night. A rough mix that I do to send to him, and then just the enhancement. He turns it up to another level.
Absolutely.
And I feel like that's what a good engineer can do for you, and especially an engineer who understands. That's why I'm big on the duos, like what you and Trapper are doing, or when you and Alex get together, you and Jamar get together. You know, because you know them, they know you. Yeah. And you guys have a vision together.
No doubt.
It makes it 10 times harder to get things to sound the way you want when your vision is not aligning with the other person.
if not impossible.
Exactly. But the way, like I said, the way I see your whole unit move is just very cohesive, and you guys have a solid vision.
Yeah.
And you're a team heading towards a goal. And like I said, at the end of the day, I love that. And the way that you guys bring everyone in, because it's not just you three. Like, Cisco was out there with y'all yesterday shooting a video.
Shout
and it's
out
just,
Cisco.
Man, always shout out
Cisco.
Cisco. I think I've brought Cisco up in every single podcast I've done, because that's a big influence to me. Like,
huge influence.
Me and him don't work together a lot, but I'm constantly watching. And anytime I'm in his DMs asking for advice. Yeah. So helpful. Not a selfish bone at all.
Yeah, great person to get advice from too for multiple things.
Anything. Yeah, graphics, video, engineering, music, like,
and just life.
Yeah, just life.
Life. Yeah.
I've gone to Cisco's and I've just sat and watched him mix something.
Yeah.
And I didn't record. I wasn't there for that. I just want to see how you do it, bro. Can I just watch?
Yeah.
And he'll give me little tips as somebody who don't mix, but it enhances it just every little thing you put in your tool belt. It's another thing that I didn't know that I can now articulate to my engineer. Like, I really like this. Can we try this?
Dig.
And it's all just, everything is about growing and experimenting,
Yeah.
And that's what I see from your guys' group,
Thank
from
you.
y'all collective. And I just, like I said, I really wanted to sit with you and just be able to express that, because I show love whenever y'all post, whenever y'all drop it. I share it, I say something, but it's very different. I always feel like social media is real, but it's not real,
Yeah.
So to actually be here in person, to sit across from you and to give you your flowers and be like, yo, I see what y'all doing. I'm watching it and I love it. I feel like that's just a different level of,
Definitely. Yeah. And
of respect.
And it's appreciated. It's definitely appreciated, because I do things sometimes without even thinking about it. I just do it because it feels right, and I'm grateful to know that people are watching it, that it benefits other people and that other people enjoy it as much as I do doing it,
It
so,
definitely.
Thank you.
It's like I said, it's motivational because as artists, I feel like, for one, we're all kind of emotional. Artists are emotional.
Yeah.
And we put our heart into the music, and it doesn't. I tell people all the time, I feel like I put my heart in the music, but music don't always love me back.
Yeah.
Because you could spend so much time, crafting something, a song, a beat, and then, when you don't get that reaction, you don't get what you're looking for, sometimes it's super heartbreaking, And like I said, and also I look to you and Trapper and Alex and Nate and Cisco and Eddie, because it all gives me motivation on the days where I'm like, man, I think I kind of want to hang up this. Like, I'm cool. Like, I'm done with this. There's only so much heartbreak a guy could take.
Yeah.
But then I see y'all, and I'm like, nah. There's still people out there having fun. This is a down moment. We're gonna get back up. And like I said, and seeing y'all do what y'all do, that's always a motivation. On my down days, like, man, I want to roll this up. Be like, nah. I need to go write another bar is what I need to do.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's also important to distinguish the fact that it's not music that's not showing love back. It's the people that you're showing the music to,
Very true.
And so it's just like finding new people to show the music to. Like, that's one of the reasons why I move around so much. I'm a huge believer in distance and space. Distance and space in your current relationships. When you create that within those relationships, it allows you to leave, come back, and experience the honeymoon phase in all your relationships continuously.
How can I miss you if you won't go away?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm here, and then I'm not, and then I'm somewhere else, and then I might come back. And that's one of the reasons why I like to move around a lot. Plus, to just experience different things. Right now it's really just between here, the Bay Area, Vegas. I had a chance to go to San Diego a couple of weeks ago. That was pretty cool. But just distance and space, and then just always being open, just like always being available for new opportunities and just creating new opportunities by forming new relationships. That's super big. Like, I have people, even though the skate block parties in Hanford, I have people in the Bay Area, San Diego, Vegas, and just kind of other places. Viewing what I'm doing because I made those relationships. And so now it's encouraging them to have a different conversation with me because they see what I'm doing in one place.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, I saw your event. You should actually talk with this guy out in this area. Even though I might not throw an event in San Diego or something, but it's just a matter of
reaching out,
continuously
networking,
being connected, So
I agree.
Yeah.
So as we bring this to a close,
Yeah.
this hour and 30 went by so fast, man. I feel like I learned a lot. Like I said, I appreciate you taking the time.
Absolutely.
Again, as somebody who I know is hard to get a hold of because you're like, yo, I'm only in town for 3 more days. So if you need studio time, give me now because I'm gone.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we were able to sit down and make this happen. And I want to give you the opportunity right now to let everyone know what y'all got coming, what the future looks like, and, just any words you want to bestow upon the people before we get out.
Yeah, so I'm going to speak this into existence. Like, I'm going to do some beat shows out here. Preferably would be dope to do them at, like, one of the skate shops. But if not, I'll find a venue. Do stuff like that. I want to do, I'm going to do, like, self-development summits, too, for, like, high school students. Like all the books that I read and just bring in like other like entrepreneurs that I know, like my buddy Max, who stays in the Bay Area. He has 4 barbershops. His cousin Daniel, who's cool too, like makes a living off of physical training. I have a buddy who does like sales over running 13 states and doing sales. Like it's not music related, but everything in music has to do with life, and these things are life related. So like I want to be able to like speak to high school students, middle school students, things in that sense. And then when it comes to the music, like my main focus is right now is, like Trappers project that's coming up, getting a Gumbo Group project together with Alex, Max, Skunk, and me right now just really continuing to expand. I'm going to at some point do a tour up and down the West Coast, and that's why I'm kind of moving the way I'm moving to establish those connections. So whether it's playing beats, whether it's, him performing, whatever it is, I'm going to be up and down the West Coast and then eventually around the country.
Worldwide.
And then worldwide, yeah. So, but it starts in your own backyard though,
Well, as somebody from y'all backyard, I just want you to know that personally, you definitely got a lot of support. Like I said, I seen your event. Like I said, this was the 3rd event. I've seen it get bigger and the turnout increase. And like I showed up like 5 minutes early yesterday, and then it just like right at 2, I was sitting in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And it just seemed like people just start crawling out the woodwork. Like right at, and this is a place where people like to be late, but it was just like 2:00 hit, and people just started assembling.
Yeah, this was the first one where, like, right at the start time, people were actually there. Like, sometimes people were, like, the last one, people pulled up late, like 30 minutes, 40 minutes late. But, like, this one, I was like, there was people there, like, warming up, skating. Like, I saw somebody bringing in a tent already. I was like, damn, like, all right, this is cool,
Yeah.
So
definitely, the town is behind you.
That's good to know.
And we just
appreciate y'all.
And I love to see it. I love to see you moving. I love to see Trapper moving. I love to see Nate doing his thing. Cisco. I just really love to see the whole town, Hanford, the whole Central Valley, because there's so much talent out here, from you to Nate to Young Tones to Rosalio. There's so many of us out here doing it, and it's just like I feel like the movement is really building.
Yeah.
And it's been building these past couple years, man. And you're a big part of that.
Thank you.
And like I said, man, I really appreciate you sitting down with me and giving me some of your time.
Of course.
We are definitely going to have to do a follow-up interview when we take this worldwide.
Yeah. Oh, we will.
Man, we will. Y'all check out Crispy. Check out Gumbo Groove. Vibe responsibly.
Yes,
Trapper Lope. Everybody, man.
Yes, sir.
It's a lot of love for what y'all doing, man.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, brother.
And with that being said, man, we are out of here. Y'all have a blessed one.